Sharon from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and today I'm here to review the Cascade Yarns book called 60 More Quick Baby Knits, which they have one that's already 60 quick knits for babies. But this is done with the 220 Superwash Sport. So it's going to be a little bit thinner, a little bit finer yarn, but it's superwash, which is great, and it's Cascade. So you get an infinite amount of colors, plus it's washable. So it makes it really nice. In here, there are some really, really cute things. There's it seems to be all the rage right now is those sleep sacks. If you're familiar with knitting a lot of baby stuff, you'll see these sleep sacks everywhere. Let me pull it up real quick so you guys can see. It's really simple. Gray seems to be a really, really popular color. The one that they did was done with either a pink or a blue edging, but you can obviously change this. And it sews up the back, but you can just slip the baby in and he's stuck in there with everything intact. He's not going to go anywhere. So again, instead of having some of the most popular sleeve sacks that are out right now, you can actually do one of these, and you could actually, even if you wanted to, if you were a little bit more of a skilled knitter, you could put a pattern on the front. You could embroider a name on here. It's really, really adorable. Really simple pattern guidelines. I mean, their pattern support is really great. They have quite a few blankets. Another thing that I always think is adorable is knitted pants with a little ruffle bottom. How cute is that? This kid's getting into trouble. Looks like she's about to get into trouble, I'm sure. So the directions are really clear, really straightforward. You won't find rarely any mistakes with Cascade. They have little socks. If you're new to knitting socks and you have friends or you have your own baby on the way, you can actually practice on baby booties. That's a really great way to go. There's also a hooded onesie for babies. As you can see, there's some cabling on here, but he's got little pom-poms on the top. It looks like a little Eskimo. So cute. One thing to be mindful of is, I mean, in this picture in particular, it shows the white and then a darker color. Just like when you do your laundry, you don't want to mix reds and whites, because what happens is something turns pink, which is terrible, but it can happen even with yarn. So we want to be careful. Even though this is superwash, I would suggest pre-washing the yarn beforehand if you do mix it with a white, because you don't want it to fade into it, especially after all that work. I'm not sure if they note that in the directions, but it's just, I know that there's a couple white and reds, which were a little scary to me, that if you didn't know that, you might knit it and then not realize that the red could bleed onto the white. So this is a Sailboat Blinken, and it's done in red, white, and blue. So if you have any family or friends that are doing a sailing theme, or even, I mean, French or American theme or anything like that, it's really cute. The shape is neat. The points come out so you can actually wrap the child in the blanket. Again, be very mindful of mixing white and red. I have seen it happen where the red bleeds into the white. So what they do suggest is you can actually set the yarn by washing it with a little bit of white vinegar. There's a lot of resources online on how to do that, and that's a great way to avoid the red bleeding into the white. I just hate for somebody to knit this whole blanket and then it turn out to be a pink boat, which could be great. I mean, who knows? You get quite a few projects out of this. I mean, you get 60 knits. That's a lot. There's a pattern featured on the back, which if you know how to sew, this might be something you could be into. You knit your blanket, but then you sew a backing of a fabric onto it. So you can actually get a little bit, I'd say this might be a little bit more durable. There's some really great instructions on here on how to do that. I'm sure you could even, if you wanted to, use a flannel instead of, I'm sure they used a cotton washable fabric on the back end, but I mean, you know, with babies, their fingers and their toes just poke through everything, especially when you knit with it. So this might be a good way to get around that. So if you're familiar with sewing, or you're new to sewing, you have a sewing machine, or your friend has a sewing machine, the directions are very simple on how to do this pattern. But so baby's so cute. He's probably not sure even what's going on, but that's okay, because we know. Again, 60 quick knits. There's a little cardigans. The one thing about Cascade is that their patterns and their yarns are great because the support is great. The patterns are written very well, very clear and concise. The coloring, you know, you can switch out any color for any color. We can also order any color from them for you. If you have any questions about that, just give us a call. The pictures are great, so you can see the different little angles on the patterns. It also shows the size and the difficulty rating for each pattern. We can't show them all, but it's definitely, if you're familiar with the original 60 quick baby knits, this would be a great addition, especially if it's done in a finer white, which is nice for places where it's not below 100 degrees where you live. Anyways, I'm Sharon from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and thanks for watching.
Thunder rumbles on this American summer night.